rolling.
Sick.
Boom. Let's set that timer. Hello. Yeah. We're here. Yeah, me.
Should I clip it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I really am not like a. I don't know. Whichever one feels more natural.
No, I don't like to hold. I like it hands free.
Yeah. So me personally, I'm not one to be in front of the camera. I'd rather
Yeah.
be behind the camera. But this one I do feel like I'm supposed to be in front of the camera for at least this project.
Yeah. Fair.
But this is No Edit Podcast, episode 2, and we have
Anika Ignazi. I am the designer and artist of Ooh Baby, my company, clothing brand.
So tell them a little bit about it. What type of stuff you make and why, basically.
Yeah. I make clothes. Most importantly, I do different clothing collections based off of my artwork. So I've been doing this for like 6.5 years. I started in Pittsburgh, and then I've been here in New York City for like 3 years. But yeah, basically I do a collection of paintings, and then from those paintings, take different elements of them and make the clothes, whether it be like a fade or the graphics. I have a lot of graphics, characters, and things I love to do. And then sometimes I'll take one of my designs and I'll just paint directly on it. The company started really in upcycling. So I would take already existing clothes and paint on them, paint my characters. Patchwork is like one of my OG things. And yeah, that's a little bit about Ooh Baby.
So what got you into fashion? Like, what was the thing that brought you to where you are today?
Yeah, well, I'm like a college dropout. I was on a completely different track. And, I just always loved clothes. And I love New York City. And that I guess my style was always developing. And I just love painting on clothes because when you wear eccentric things, people like to talk to you, and I like to talk. So that really got me into fashion. And, um, also wearing a bunch of colors makes people happy. And I think it adds something to the visual street aspect. Like when you look around, if somebody's wearing bright colors, you're going to like gravitate towards them and look at them. And I find that inspiring.
Are you from New York originally?
No, I grew up outside of Pittsburgh, in like a small town called Lower Burl. And then I moved, like I said, I dropped out of college, which was in Staten Island. And then when I came back home, like super depressed, not knowing what to do, moved back in with my parents. And shortly after that, I figured that painting on clothes was going to help me make some money. And I moved out and moved into the city in Pittsburgh. So yeah, I lived in Pittsburgh for like almost 5 years.
And do you feel like the art over there developed your craft at all versus
Definitely.
New York, or what things you think is different?
I mean, I feel like wherever you are in your environment, it's going to affect you, for the positive or negative. But for me, it was positive. I really love Pittsburgh. Andy Warhol's from there. And, the art community was really tight knit. There's like not a whole bunch of people, but enough people to get inspired. And it was a great place for me to develop as well because of the tight knit community. I was able to grow so much faster and like make connections, and people knew about me so much sooner as if I was in New York. I feel like so I'm really blessed to have started there and like develop my style, and that was fun. Yeah,
that does sound like the best way to do it, because it's like New York sometimes starting here, you feel like the world, everybody else is starting too. So it's like
for sure.
Sometimes gets a lot. But so how do you like, working in New York, doing art in New York? Do you feel like it's like, because like one of the biggest things that artists have to deal with is like oversaturation nowadays. I feel like,
yeah,
definitely weigh in if you think it's something different. But what would you say about like oversaturation when it comes to your work?
I would say number one, like coming into New York, already having my style
Mm.
um, was great for me because I could pivot off that. Um, my identity, like my brand identity, was somewhat solid, but that is such a long road of development and experiences you have to have. And I'm still on that road. Um, Saturation, for sure. Anywhere you go, there's so many people trying to put a name on a t-shirt and like make it street. But I think the people that have followed my journey and connected with my work know that this doesn't add to the saturation. Like I'm in this for the long haul. This is like my lifestyle. This is what I love to do. Um, so yeah, I think the saturation is more or less in everything, anywhere,
Yeah.
you know. But you just have to have your style and whatever your thing is, whether it's like a certain set of buttons you put on your clothes, or it's a character you draw, or it's just some defining factor that sets you apart. That I think, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I guess
No,
style
look,
is the most important thing when saturation is at hand, and consistency as well, because being consistent shows people that like you're actually here because you love it, not because you want to just make some quick money or like some clout.
For sure.
Yeah.
What would you say to those folks that like are trying to get to where you want to be, but they're just so caught up in like, life, things happen?
Well, like I'm caught up in life and things happen, so you'll never get away from that feeling. It's just a matter of discipline. I think I grew up playing sports, and that really helped with my discipline and my practice, and understanding that if you practice, you ultimately get better. It's awesome to have like a coach or people who inspire you and that you can take criticism from, people that give you honest feedback. But just to get started, you just have to get started. And like you can't expect people to give you all the answers, and like reach out to people when you have nothing under your belt in the first place. You need to go out and get it yourself. Whatever that is, figure it out. I did. I went on the street in Pittsburgh and I'm like, I need to make money. I need to get out of my parents' house. Like, what can I offer? What can I service to the world that is me, and adds, rather than like just goes into like a basic group of whatever. And so for me, that's what I did, and it was only took time and people's feedback and talking to a bunch of people, selling my work, and networking, and going out and doing different things. It's like you really just got to go and get it yourself, because nobody's going to give you all the answers ever.
What do you feel like is the most memorable? Like, what's your highest high as of right now?
What do you mean?
Like, from the achievements that you've achieved, what do you feel like is like your, like the one thing that you go back to every time?
Man, like I feel like I'm just climbing the ladder sometimes, and I just like do not look down because I'm such like a kind of person. Like bigger, more projects, overload. I would just say being able to survive in New York and like actually have a really dope studio here in Brooklyn, where I'm able to like make all my creations. I have like a spray paint room, which we're hanging out in right now. I would say that's pretty impressive for like a 26-year-old who started from nothing. But it's not like, I look at it like that on a daily or rarely. But it is important, I think, also for anybody who is like going towards something, to look down when you're climbing the ladder, which I forget to do for sure.
Look, I'm the same exact way, honestly. I've been told before that I need to sometimes just be able to relish in my accomplishment, because I'm the same exact way. Once I reach one milestone, I'm like, okay, the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than like sitting for a minute and like actually taking it all in.
Yeah. And I think another thing actually that just popped into my mind is like having good friends, it's an accomplishment
For sure.
for me personally. Like having people around me that, you know, if I'm not feeling good, they're gonna reassure me. Not like I lean on them, but it's just really nice to have people around you that like genuinely love you, like know when you're not in a good mood and they're like there for you. What can I do? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Someone to talk to, people to trust. Like I feel that's a really big accomplishment as a human in general to develop the relationships around you. And yeah, I think it says a lot about who you are or like the people around you.
How do you feel like your journey would have been different if you didn't have that support team?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm kind of a wreck. I would be a wreck. I'm like a tight knit kind of person. Like I have so many acquaintances and wonderful people. Like, but there's very few people that actually really, really know me. Um, and yeah, without them, I don't know what I would do. I need help, like sometimes, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm an artist, so equal highs, equal lows is like cause for a major, major roller coaster.
Yeah.
I call like my friends like my checkers. Like they check me. Like if I'm not being myself or if I'm like have a new person in my life, then I'm not myself. They're gonna be like asking me questions. They're gonna make sure they're like, I know you, doesn't seem like you, or they're gonna be like, I know you and you're happy and this is good.
Yeah.
So I think having checkers.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what's something that you would give to like the next generation of designers?
I mean, I feel there's so right now because the internet, we're in a crazy age of like self-made people. So I hope that I add to that realm of like self-made, and you don't have to go to fashion school. I couldn't afford it, so it wasn't really an option for me. And also, I didn't want to spend the time. Like I would have graduated, like 2 years ago. I'm already 6.5 years deep into my company.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I would just say I hope I add to like that self-made, passionate realm of inspiring people. That you can do really weird stuff. Like I have really weird characters, and basically my whole journey is like on Instagram, and like people also have followed since the beginning. So just an example of like not being afraid to experiment or pivot or want to grow yourself, scale your business. Like just, you know, there's a sense of I don't know what the word is, but basically just fearlessness and just going for it. So I hope I give that to people.
So in the last episode, episode 1, featuring Q Jamal, if you haven't seen it, go see it. In the last episode, we were speaking about how on social media it's now a thing where folks, instead of trying to be something, they're trying to fill an idea of something. So instead of being an artist, they're trying to be what social media thinks an artist is. So like, let's say, like the fashion folks, they baggy clothes and stuff like that. Instead of actually liking fashion,
right?
They're just trying to fill that narrative. How do you feel about that, and how does it also influence you, if anything?
Yeah, it's actually so interesting. As I've been able to create so many different designs, and I just see like people our age oftentimes falling into the most basic clothing, expressive, follow, lame shit ever. Like, I feel authenticity is not on the forefront of most young people's minds for fear of judgment. And that makes me want to do this even more because it's interesting. I have a lot of older clientele that love my stuff. Like middle-aged women love my stuff. And I'm like, am I just like an old soul, or am I not connecting with like people my age? I mean, although I have a lot of amazing like customers and followers around my age, but it just shows me that like the internet is really putting a chip in creativity in your brain, and like you don't have to look like
everything
wearing these sets of like beige and like boring stuff to fit in. And if you're around people that make you feel bad about dressing weird or unique, if you want to dress like a clown one day, like I hope you're around people that are like, hell yeah, dress like a clown.
Yeah.
Like do whatever you want to do. But yeah, I feel unfortunately like we need more revolutionary creators and influencers and whoever this young culture is following of just like be authentic, because your wave ripples so much farther. You have no idea how many people that you will ripple to in the millions if you're yourself. That person and that person and that person. It's a serious like stomp on the ground and a flood of energy being yourself, and how important it is to do that. So I don't even know what the question was, but basically like just be your authentic self and be around people who encourage you to do that. I think one of the most annoying things I've come in contact with selling crazy clothes is that I don't even know crazy. This is not crazy to me, but most people would probably say it's pretty crazy. But crazy. Authentic clothes, let's say, is like there's like a group of friends or whatever, and like this girl puts on this awesome trench coat and she's like, I love it. She's looking at herself in the mirror, she feels good, you can see her eyes lit up, and her friend or her boyfriend or whoever is just like, ew, no. And then you can immediately see how judged this person feels, and like that is a negative ripple, and then she doesn't feel comfortable. And I just think like that is always going to happen, unfortunately, because how are you going to go? It's a yin and yang life, but don't be that person. That is like, don't be you. Just allow people to be themselves. And if that doesn't fit into what you're doing, then go find more of your own kind.
Yeah, I feel like that's such
in the beige world. Like, no thanks.
I feel like that's such a thing nowadays, how it's like, I feel like everybody feels as though they matter more than they do. Mm-hmm. Their opinion.
Main character vibes.
Yeah. So like everybody.
That's not me.
So everybody is like you said, no, I don't like that. And now expecting that person to now put it back.
Yeah.
Because they don't like that.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I've come into that situation so many times, and I'm like, you look amazing and you feel good, and that's important. And I really try to like ripple that.
So do you feel like you were born with that, or do you feel like you had to develop that?
Wait. I'm gonna take a pause and grab. Marissa, we're recording in here. This is me as a child. This is straight up me. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, my Bigfoot's on me. It's so good. But yeah, definitely. I was always like a major go-getter kind of gal. And like, actually, it's so funny because when I was younger, my family, my mom's side, we always used to have family reunions. And I'm going to put the young child me right there. Let's see if it sticks. It's fine. The young child in me was like super happy. And when I had these family reunions, actually, my girl cousins and I, we would put on fashion shows every year. So it was like a major foreshadowing into my life. And like I still have like the clip art invitations we would send out. So yeah, I've always been like this, but I've always been a very emotional person. And that's, I feel, how I can really do this, like, you know, connect.
So then, since you would say that you were born into it, for those folks that like also got that heavy spirit, you know, like able to go out and do it, I can assume that you've probably encountered people that would like try and stifle that. How would you?
Not really.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's
I
great.
Run away from those people. I don't give them that time of day.
Yeah.
Bye.
I like that. So that would
I'm
be.
sure I have, but like I can't even think of them because
you. Yeah. So that would be the advice that you would give to those folks. Run away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the energy you put into things, is that basically, period.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I think it does.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's received. The message is received.
I think what helped me a lot too was going out and like I was selling on the streets, my clothes selling on the streets, so people really loved it. People also really hated it, like, but I just thought it was funny
Yeah.
when they didn't like it. I remember I painted this like designer blazer and like I spray painted it all over. It's like a Scada and it's kind of expensive. And this lady comes up, she goes, "Oh my god, it's a Scada. She ruined it." And I lost it. I was laughing so hard. She didn't know I was standing there, but it's just like, okay, you're not my customer. You're not somebody I'd vibe with. So
Exactly.
like, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, things like that for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely is always been an interesting thing to me, especially when I'm like working and stuff. Like mainly I'll say when I'm producing.
Yeah.
Produce a beat, put it out, and somebody will always have something to say, especially with like music.
Yeah.
Music is very saturated. Music is very like,
For sure.
oh, it has to like rap. You can't rap something and it not sound like Drake or Kendrick or 21. Like, no offense to them at all. They're great at what they do, but it's like when you start to box in art, then it becomes less art. You know, it's less like art and more like just trying to fulfill an image, you know?
Totally.
So things like that, yeah.
And I feel like people put me in a box, people put everybody in a box, and my friends and I have lately like had a saying like no reaction.
Like work no reaction.
Yeah, like I mean people are gonna hate, people are gonna get you pissed off, but like we're just like really training ourselves to be like no reaction.
Yeah.
Like try to give no reaction to that kind of stuff because it will drive you crazy.
For sure.
And that just takes you farther from yourself.
Yeah.
Which you're the gift. You're the gift. Your talent is a gift. What you share with the world is a gift, and like you cannot react to that shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So as we close out, you know, we got about 8 minutes left. I checked the timer.
Nice.
I think I'm doing good on the time. You know? Anything you want to, you know, give to the people?
Well, I will say this: you can buy my stuff.
Yeah, I was just about to say, shout yourself out too. You know, all the social
that
media.
Would be sick. No, I am actually. We're filming this a couple days before my store opening. I have a studio/store in Brooklyn. It's at 13 Grattan Street. So half my studio is a shop that you can come visit. I'll have hours coming up. I'm going to be open like 4 days a week. Check the Instagram and follow me as well at Ooh Baby by Anika. I'm coming out with awesome stuff all the time. Summer's coming. It's actually here right now, even though I'm wearing a trench coat. So I have a lot of cool summer stuff. Jackets is really my favorite thing. So yeah, just give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok and reach out if you have any questions. I love to talk, and I also love when people come to the space and actually like feel this energy here and get to feel, touch, and try on the clothes.
Yeah.
I have men's and women's clothes, unisex, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed our talk.
Yeah, and I'm Reed. I'm here. You know,
here.
I'm here. I'm seeing the energy. Feeling the energy. It's great. So I definitely, I co-sign that. Come on out, pop out, follow the IG, all that. So yeah, this has been the No Edit Podcast. I forgot the name of it real quick.
You're not gonna edit this at all?
Yeah, no. So like this here is like straight
raw, baby.
Yeah, so it's like whatever came out then came out, you know.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, I like organic.
I didn't even know it was raw, y'all.
So yeah, this is the No Edit Podcast, episode 2. I'm probably gonna put like clips and stuff of whatever we do in there afterwards.
Cool.
So
cool.
Y'all catch that after, or this will be the end of the video. Who knows by now? But
no.
I guess we'll see. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
You know? And thank you for your words.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.